This is the plaintiff, Joseph Parisi. He says he was parked at a diner near where he lives and noticed a big truck in the parking lot. When he left, he saw the truck driver near his car, and when he approached his driver's side, he was shocked and appalled at what he saw. The guy took a magic marker and wrote expletives on the door and window. He called the cops, and the defendant admitted he did it because he was mad or something. The guy also took a screwdriver to the bumper, kicked in the quarter panel, and owes him every penny of the $2,000.29 he's suing for. This is the defendant, Mark Crawford. He says the jerky plaintiff parked his car, making it very difficult for him to get out. And he got mad and wrote something on his window. Wasn't like it was a permanent marker or anything. Now the guy's making a mountain out of a molehill and suing him for $2,000? Come on, man. Park in a real spot next time. He's accused of making his mark.
All parties, please raise your right hands. Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Joseph Parisi, you are suing Mark Crawford for $2,029. The estimate for repairs and rental to repair your car after, according to you, he vandalized it. What happened?
On February 14th, Valentine's Day, I went to take my wife out to dinner. The parking lot was basically full. Car pulled out. I pulled into the spot where he was parked.
Okay.
I looked around, and I noticed the defendant's truck in a spot where it probably didn't belong. It was
Was he in a
Ford
legitimate parking
F-350.
spot?
Pardon me?
Was he in a legitimate parking spot?
Well, he was partially in it. He was sticking out of it about 3 feet.
Take a look at this parking lot that somebody in my staff helpfully drew up. Will you put your car and his car in the spots that your car and his car were at?
I'd like to just say, I could, but I'd like to say it's irrelevant where the cars were parked, because if I was
Okay,
parked
why don't
right
you let
directly...
me be the judge of what's relevant? No, you may not. You may answer my question. Put your car and his car exactly where each of them were. And then you can tell me, well, this car isn't to scale, or it's closer, or whatever else you feel.
Actually, this isn't drawn right because
Okay.
the spots were this way,
Okay.
and there's a wall here.
All right, which one's yours, which one's his?
This would be his, this would be mine.
Okay. So yours is sideways, and you said there was a wall at the edge of both your cars?
There's
right
a wall
there?
here.
Okay, so go ahead and go back to the lectern and then continue your story.
The reason that the spot I was parked in is irrelevant is because he admitted on the police report
We're not there yet.
that
You
he did the
do
damage to my car.
do me a favor. Just answer the questions and tell me what happened. I don't need you to conclude for me what I should conclude. This
Okay.
is what I do. I've done it for 30 years without you. Okay, so now, tell me what happened. You park your car, but you had some
the
concern
restaurant.
because you ended up taking pictures, right?
Yeah, I did.
Why would you take pictures?
Well, my car had been hit recently in the back in another parking lot, and so I just call it premonition. I saw the way he was
that
parked.
indicates to me that you might have thought that there might be a problem.
Yeah, I thought there was. I thought he was parked in a spot he didn't belong in. But that's not relevant to the case.
Okay, how many times are you going to say that before you anger the judge into telling you that I'll be the judge of what's relevant? Like, what good could possibly come of you insulting me a third time? It's been twice now that you tell me that my questions are irrelevant. What do you? Is it going to be a third time, or do you just want to go through your story and control yourself?
If you'd allow me to go
So
through my
now, what happens is you take pictures. Do you have the pictures?
Well, that's not what happened.
You don't
I went
take
into
pictures?
the restaurant.
No, I'm sorry. Before you go into the restaurant, do you take pictures?
I took a picture. It was on my cell phone. I don't have that picture with me.
You don't have that picture. Okay,
Right.
go on.
Went into the
Is
restaurant.
it in your? I'm sorry. Is it in your phone?
No, it's not there anymore.
Why would you erase the picture?
Well, it's an iPhone 4, and after a while, you have to take the pictures off, or you don't have enough space on the phone.
Okay, go ahead.
So halfway through dinner, I noticed somebody at my car. Couldn't really tell because it's pretty long distance, about maybe 50, 60 yards.
Where's the restaurant? Can you come back over here?
The building in...
Okay, on the top left?
Yes.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
And I noticed somebody by my car, so I walked out. I came out the back door, and the defendant's truck was leaving at that point.
Okay.
So I went over to my car, and I noticed that he had written on the window, on the door, and bent the molding on the car.
Okay. Do you have pictures of that?
I do.
Let me see that.
At that point, I called the police.
And did he leave?
Yeah, he left.
He left. But you had taken pictures of his license plate.
I had his license plate.
In case something brewed.
Yes.
And something did brew. Go figure. Okay. And so he wrote on the side of your car, blank, 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 head. Wow.
He also wrote on the window.
And also on the window?
Yes.
What did he write on the window?
I believe it says, head.
Okie dokie. So what'd you do?
I called the police. Finally, they tracked him down on the police report. He admitted to writing only on the window.
So he admitted to writing on it?
Oh, absolutely.
But only on the window?
Only on the window. He didn't admit to bending. Okay, the day after the incident, the morning of, when I came out of my house, I noticed other damage to my car that I didn't notice that night.
Because you didn't claim any of that on the police report, did you?
I didn't.
Okay.
Because I didn't inspect my whole car at that point.
Okay, let me
Because
see the
that was
police
on-
report.
Oh.
So the other damage you're speaking of is damage in the front of your car? The
Right.
very, very front of your car that looks like you hit a curb or something.
It looks like he kicked it. That's what I believe happened. And
Are you sure you're not just going around your car because you're angry and just marking every single little scratch,
well,
right?
I think you can look at well, there's other scratches on the car that I didn't report. Like the rear bumper, I don't know if you can see it in the picture, is the damage that was previously there.
What happened?
What happened is I'd gotten a phone call from my, do you want to hear from the beginning?
I want to hear what kind of romantic cowboys you two are, that you would take your women to dinner and that this would happen during it.
Actually, I met my wife there.
On that night?
Yeah. She'd called me up while I was on my way home from work, asked me if I wanted to meet her for dinner. I told her yes.
Oh, that's what you meant by I met my wife. She was already your wife. You just met up with her there?
Correct.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
I had gotten there just about 5 o'clock. I had pulled in, saw a spot at the end, and I took it because I know I have a large truck. And I parked it there because there was enough snow on the ground that it was taking up all those spaces along the
Come on
parking
over
lot.
here and show me what you're talking about.
I had pulled in here, stopped here for a second, looked down, saw that there was snow all the way down here, and actually this first spot. So actually I was parked here, and he had parked up behind me about here.
Okay.
He made it impossible with the snowbank here because I remember it was touching my window. Actually, it was touching my side view mirror, and it was about 5 feet tall. So I couldn't get to bend this way to go back. So after multiple times of turning it back and forth, and having my 12-year-old son, actually 11 at the time, help me, we were able to get out.
I'm sorry, your son was in the car?
My son was not in the car.
Your son was in the car?
My son was not in the car at the time. I had put him here so I could see how far I could back up without actually hitting the vehicle. There was snow everywhere. And I know that it was a difficult spot to park, but
I'm sorry, was his car parked in a legal parking space?
No, my spot, I was.
Was he?
No.
Because what?
All these lines are parallel this way, and he was parked perpendicular to him.
Okay, so you are saying that he parked perpendicular, but that is not perpendicular
That is not
parking.
a spot.
Okay, go on.
So after a little while of getting out, I finally was able to put it into the snowbank enough that I was able to get out, and I told him to get in. So when he got in, I got out, and then I took my Sharpie and I wrote. Actually, it wasn't, I don't know if
Why are you smiling?
Because, well, not that any of it's funny, but.
Oh, I think you do think it's funny, because that's the only reason to smile right now.
Well, no, the reason I'm smiling is because I was going to say what I wrote on the car, but I didn't know if I should.
Oh, I think you should.
I actually, when I got up to the car, I wrote backwards on the window so he would see it when he got in, but I didn't think that worked. So I wrote it across his door, and I got into my truck and left. My son was already in the truck.
How many children do you have?
2.
How old's your other child?
9.
How does a man after a room. I'm going to assume for the purpose of this argument that he is exactly what you said on the window. He is someone who blocked your path and you couldn't get out. Let's just assume for the sake of argument that that is what happened.
Mm-hmm.
You tell me how your actions are justified. You tell me how not only are your actions justified, but this is the example you set for your 11-year-old son on no less a day than Valentine's Day.
I'm going to say I was a great father. And I didn't
Oh, you're not. You're a miserable father.
Well, perhaps I am. But you know what? He wasn't in the vehicle. He was actually in the vehicle when I had exited the vehicle.
You think your 11-year-old son sees you take a Sharpie and go deface someone's property and he's not looking through the window? You probably high-fived him when you walked in the car.
No, I would never do that.
Really? That's
Really?
above you. You're just above that. But you're not above taking a Sharpie and writing on someone else's car? Did the thought ever occur to you to go in the restaurant and have the manager announce that whoever owns a small red yada, whatever the heck it was, please come and remove your car? That thought never occurred to you?
No, actually, because what's he going to do, go table to table? There's no PA system in the restaurant.
So he could just shout it out. He could go table to table. Yeah, it'd be inconvenient for you. Be inconvenient for you. And not only that, go back to the lectern, please. I look at the police report, and in the police report, you claim to the police that you only wrote on the window.
I didn't. No, that's not true. Actually, when I talked to the
police...
police...
Well, that's what the police officer says. He says, you said I only wrote on the window.
No, I said I wrote on the window, but what it was is he focused on it because I explained to him that I was writing it backwards on the window.
According to the police, quote, he told me he made sure to write on the window only because he knew the marker would wash off. So no, there's not some confusion on the part of the police. You just ain't that honest.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. Have you ever retaliated against somebody who was a real idiot and parked illegally and blocked cars?
No, but you might give them the bird.
You can give them the bird, but I'm talking a little more than that.
I almost keyed a car. At the last second, I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll just do it from the blunt edge. But I decided not to.
Wow, you're an honest guy. What do you think?
I'm a car guy. I respect other cars.
Has it ever happened to you or do you ever do it to somebody else?
I've never done it to anybody else, but I've had retaliation against me.
So you were the jerk?
Some would say, but you know, there's a cause and effect where, you know...
No.
It's bad.
You were the jerk.
Okay.
Okay, going inside the courtroom.
Did the marker come off with washing or no?
It needed some sort of chemical they took it off with.
Who took it off?
It was the body shop.
When did you take it to the body shop?
The very next day.
Okay. Did you damage his car as well?
No, I did not.
And I should believe you why?
Because it doesn't really make sense for me to write on the car, then walk around and damage the car.
Maybe something easy that you can just kick, like the molding on the side. You can just rip that out with your hand and keep walking and flee.
Well, I'm not denying the fact that I wrote on the vehicle, but any of the physical damage that's on that car, I did not do.
Yeah, I have a little bit of difficulty with the damage that's discovered 4 days later. I think that's just, let's get our car fixed. But I got to tell you, I don't know how much of a difference it's going to make, because I'm going to order punitive damages in this case.
Well, Your Honor...
So really, you know... Well, Your Honor, what?
I had gone to 3 different auto body places to have marker removed from my wife's vehicle, and they all did it for free.
I thought you couldn't make a bigger jerk out of yourself.
It's not...
I thought you couldn't actually do it. There isn't a lick of remorse in your soul for acting the way you acted. I would feel better if I were to hear you say, I got into a fight with my wife during dinner and I was in a bad mood and the whole thing just, I'm so sorry, this isn't like me. There's not a lick of that. You're laughing, you're telling me, that comes off for free. You are such a jerk. Okay? You too, by the way. Because any guy who parks and don't even talk. Any guy who parks and takes pictures of the car knows that he has just made somebody else's life impossible, and so he wants to be able to document in case that person retaliates. That guy knows. The guy who takes the pictures knows. Okay? May I never eat at the same restaurant as either one of you. I am ordering you to pay the plaintiff, not because I believe that you damaged every inch of his car, and that's going to cost him because I think he's blowing it up too. In order, I want to end this case so I can shower after meeting both of you. However, I am going to order punitive damages on your part because it was a deliberate act of criminal mischief. So I am ordering you to pay the plaintiff $1,250. That is my judgment.
Both sides, hold on.
And with that, the defendant leaves the courtroom on the losing end of this case. What are your thoughts coming out here? How do you feel about this now?
I don't really actually think I had the opportunity to display my side of the story, but it is what it is.
Are you sorry for what you did?
Actually, you know what? I'm sorry for writing on the vehicle. I feel bad I did that, but I also am a little annoyed due to the fact that he's getting $1,200 for damage that I didn't do, and he's just being an opportunistic bottom feeder.
Okay. All right, so step on in here. What's your feeling on this now?
Well, I think she should have found for the full amount. I had no proof that he did any of it, except for the fact that he admitted on the police report. That alone should have been enough to establish his
Who takes
motive.
pictures of the other person's
Someone whose
license plate
car
on the
just
way?
recently
Wait.
got hit in a parking lot.
Did you
Does
take
that.
pictures?
I took a picture of the car on that side. I took a picture on the car on that side. Yeah, I did it because the last time somebody damaged my car, I had to foot the bill for it.
You do that every time now?
Not every time.
Harvey?
Here's the deal, Kurt. The judge can give punitive damages for fraud, oppression, or malice. This was a clear case of malice.